I'm tired. It's that time of year when tired is just a part of your day. But I haven't hit, well, it's not that I haven't hit a wall, but I'm pacing myself really well. And I'm doing really well. I'm in pain, but it's fall weather. Rain, cold, warm, hot, rain, cold. It's all over the board. So I got, oh my gosh, I did some spaghetti squash that were not ripe, and then they were overcooked and they were mush. So I dehydrated it all and made powder. Those bread and butter chow pickles were so good. I went out and picked a half a 5-gallon pail of green tomatoes today and some mini peppers, and I made more. I made like 7 pints in 2 classical jars. Hey, hey, hey! I'm just waiting for everybody to come on in so that I can shout y'all out and say hello. Um, and right now I have ketchup in the oven. Before you say in the oven, I had another batch of ripe tomatoes. So I grabbed some peppers out of the garden as well for my pickles and for my ketchup. I grabbed some peppers and I put a 1 finger hot pepper in there in the roasting pan. So I did tomatoes, peppers, onions, and one little hot pepper. And then I roasted it and I pureed it in the blender. And then I realized, well, my blender does nothing to the seeds or the bits of skin. So I put it through a sieve. Should have put it through a food mill, but I put it through a sieve. And now the best way I've always found to cook ketchup, I've done it in pots before, but I remember how I used to make chili sauce. Howie wants chili sauce bad. I'm gonna have to make him some. But I remember how I used to do chili sauce in the oven. You slow cook it in the oven so that it doesn't burn. So I strained my ketchup and put it through a sieve, and now it's in the oven cooking at 300 degrees with my timer set to go off every 45 minutes for me to stir it. So, I mean, my every day has been like this. There's always something going on. Howie's racing this weekend. I'm staying home. I've got potatoes to can because they're on sale. And I'm going to go and get me some. Tomorrow I'm taking Briar shopping, so I'm going to go to the Maxi and they've got onions on sale, potatoes on sale. I have not seen any deer carrots yet. And they have a 10-pound bag of carrots on for, I think, $4.99 or $3.99. I think I'm going to get one just to be safe. Now I'm going to pop out and say hi. Let me just twist you guys up a bit here. And let me pop out the participants list because everybody's been talking. So everybody should be on the list. Alice Silva, Angie Mack, Autumn Gypsy, hey Natalie, Betty Randall, Seashell, aloha my darling, Celeste Autocure, Donna Lull, Rubber Band Man. Sorry. Fiona B, Freedom Sassy, Aces, Janet Fitton, Joanne Nelson, LG, Samoa, Linda Bop, Lisa Stratton, Lori M, Malka Hi, Marla Cato, Misty Flesher, Minnesota Farmer's Wife, Monica Sherman, Shaza Ann, Sherry Leet, Simply Jessica, Skippy Jones. Do I got more? Yes, Utter Chaos and Village Stetter. Now let me go back out here and put it on live chat and pop that chat right out. Come on now. You behaving. There we go. There we go. Oops. Don't want it like that. We want it, but we do want it over here. Hey, Paula, how's it going? Sandy Wilkerson, Garnett Morgan. So anyway, it's been like a rodeo of stuff going on here. You'll see it. This whole week and next week is all about, you're going to see, you guys see my mistakes, right? But I wish I had pigs because my pears are falling off the tree and they're not ripe. And I would just, if I had the pigs, hi Rosie, hi Monica, I would just be, I'm tempted to put it out on, like, yes, I'm back on Facebook, but I'm not there. I'm only there to, because when I went to talk to my firewood guy, I realized I didn't have any connection with him other than Facebook. So I had to I was losing too many connections. People didn't know, family didn't know I was off Facebook and all that stuff. So I'm there for the Connected Hearts family page and Messenger, and that's it. Hey Rodney, how are you, darling? And so these videos coming up on our half acre homestead, as you will see, are videos like, oh, I harvested my spaghetti squash too soon. Oh, it doesn't ripen off the vine. Oh, we better cook it. Oh, it's under ripe and overcooked. Now what do we do? Right? This is like the peppers. Get a couple of peppers, so what? You may be disappointed. Peppers are on sale too. You may be disappointed, but you realize that once you start cutting up, one or two peppers from the garden, putting in the freezer, next thing you know, you got a whole bag, right? Hey, Leanne, how are you, darling? So, that's kind of like, kind of like the vein of what the videos are about. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And the next thing you know, you got all you need, kind of thing, right? It's frugal living videos. And also I'm going shopping tomorrow, and I'm going to be doing a groceries and gas update from Gatineau and see how the prices are. But potatoes are on sale for 10-pound bags for $2.99. I'm getting 4. 10-pound bags of onions are on for $3.99. I'm getting 3 of them. Imperfectly perfect peppers, which means they're shaped funny or they're bicolored or whatever, they're on sale. I'm going to grab whatever I can, right? So I'm canning potatoes. I'm canning dehydrating potatoes this weekend. Oh, but I tell you, it's just been go, 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 go. Like I said, I ground up my squash powder this morning. I went out and harvested green tomatoes, harvested red tomatoes, got ketchup fixings roasting in the oven, and I got my pickles soaking, and then I'm canning pickles, and I'm straining ketchup, and now I'm cooking down the ketchup, and it's bang, 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 bang. Well, thank you, Freedom Sassy. It's not Gav, honey, it's Gab. What would you do with half a bushel of peaches? Well, if they're not good enough for canning, maybe they're bruised or whatever, I'd make jam. Or I would, I'd make jam. It just bleeped at me. You are getting shut off. Okay? Go. Because you talk to me. Every once in a while, my old phone, which has no SIM card, goes, bloop. I go, what? That's okay, Seashell. Yeah, we have some tomatoes we got from coworkers that have heirloom seeds. Ooh, the peach cobbler. Bev, I'm saving empty boxes of cereal to put in my garden as a weed barrier. Also reusing the plastic bag the cereal is in. What are your thoughts? Good job. Good job. Tell you one video that's coming up next week is I've started my sourdough again. And this time I didn't cheat and use yeast. So you're going to see that. Um, I'm thinking of leaving my parsnips in the ground over winter, because apparently overwintering them in the ground makes them really, really sweet. Howie said, you'd think they'd rot, but I hear no, everybody, a lot of people do that. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to compromise. I'm going to leave them in the ground till the first hard frost, and then I'm going to pull them. Like the first good frost, because that sweetens them. I'd cut them up and freeze. Yeah, you could cut them up and freeze them. Have I ever done a video on ghee? Yes, it's called Cooking with Cannabis. It's over on my Rumble channel. I'm pretty sure I have. It's actually making canna butter, but I always clarify my butter first. Pretty sure I got a video on it on our half-acre homestead, though. Hi, Lena K. How are you? Corey! I was going to message you, but then I got, they're perfect. I'm thinking sliced peaches and syrup, maybe smoked peach salsa. Oh, don't waste peach on salsa. Just make a lot. Oh, God. If I could get the peaches I got turned out to be peach jam because they just weren't peeling or anything nice. But if somebody gifted me a half a bushel of perfect peaches, I'd be racking that up in syrup. Oh my God. I love peaches and syrup. I got 2 jars in the pantry of them big jars of peaches that I got on sale. And I wish I had, they were $6.49 and it's almost a half-gallon jar. Almost a half gallon. It's like a quart and a half, right? And they were $6.49, and I wish now I'd just bought a couple of flats of them. My peaches float in syrup float. So what's wrong with that? You might want to cook them a little bit in the syrup. Hey, Lynn Smith, Mama Dukes. How's it going? Yeah, and you know what, Corey? My messenger's back on Facebook. So you'll be getting your regular, for Freaky Friday, you'll get your notice tomorrow night. Hey, Freaky Geek. So we can recan canned peaches, or did I hear wrong? I never said that, but I don't see why not. I mean, they're already in syrup. All you have to do is rejar them and boil bath them. They might come out a bit mushy though. What's going on, Lena K? Oh, have some, make yourself some ginger tea. Just hot water with some fresh, a coin of fresh ginger in it and some honey, and cook it a little bit, and then strain it, and then add honey and sip on it as it cools down. Ginger is the best thing for an upset stomach. Critter Lover! There is an 88 in chat. Let's get those stuff. Well, thank you. Cheryl Duchak. We have Okanagan peaches. I do diced peaches in pints for my family to pack in lunches. Light syrup is great. Awesome. The best way to put peaches up is to eat them. I agree. I've had a couple of peaches this summer. And when we bought 3 baskets, and I made that peach jam. And Angie and I scarfed back the rest of them. It's like ginger ale, but just make sure it's Canada Dry or Schweppes, because they use real ginger. I did that no go, but for some reason purple grapes have stayed down. We'll keep the purple grapes. Keep, doing the purple grapes. In Michigan, our cure is Verno's Pop, the cure all for being sick, ginger pop. As long as it's got real ginger in it. You really, thank you, Corey, but do you really want to hear my opinion on the death of the Queen? Oh, it's a tragedy. No, it's not. She's 96. She died peacefully in her bed. There's no tragedy in that. And I say, Britain, now is time. Toss the monarchy. If this be treason, make the most of it. She's not my queen. Trapped air, but will cook longer. The peaches. Does Temagine Dry use real ginger? I don't know. Oh, Canadian Dry uses real ginger. She was old as the wee. Yeah. No tragedy. And the more the longer I live in Canada, the more I think we should have punted the British Empire out of our dealings a long friggin' time ago. Long time ago. She ain't my queen. She's no more my queen than Justin Trudeau is my prime minister, and that's all I'm saying on the subject. So how's everybody doing? Okay, I think I'm revived enough to do a few cards. Please don't inundate me. I am tired. Got 23-pound two 3-pound bags of frozen blueberries yesterday at Walmart here in Western Pennsylvania. In my area, $7.48 a bag. Dehydrating the first bag as we speak. Was this a good idea? I don't know. I don't. The only way of dehydrating fresh blueberries is a good idea is poking them with right through with a toothpick, or they just will take forever and they'll be little hard, dry, crusty things. But frozen usually will dehydrate really well, so I don't see why not. Paula, doing good. Had the kids and grandbaby for dinner tonight. How'd they taste? Sam, I'm glad you had them over for dinner. Well, we're still struck with Trudeau. Yeah, well, that's a matter of opinion. He's still preaching the gospel of COVID and vaccines, and how I feel on the subject. I'll be right back. Well, last week, 7 pounds of onions for $1 is good. Okay, Corey, me too. But I just don't have time. They've changed all the rules. Now Charles can become the king because he's already given heirs. So him and his girlfriend, adulterous lover, are going to sit on the throne. She's going to be the king's consort or some friggin' thing. Get rid of them. Those entitled elites. They're on Maxi, so it might be no frills because Maxi is no frills in Quebec. Has 10-pound bags of potatoes on for $2.99. 10-pound bags of onions on for $3.99. And imperfect peppers on. So I'm really hoping that it hasn't been cleaned out by the time I get there tomorrow morning. But I will be doing a video. Yeah, he was, Paula. He was, right? I mean, at least in Canada, he's still got some dignity. But the Jeffrey Epstein. That's all I gotta say. You know, the Illuminati, all that fun stuff. Telling you if if conspiracy theories was an Olympic sport, I'd be wearing gold medals. What does went woke mean? What is this? Is like I mean I've been talking about the Great Awakening for like a year, and now all of a sudden everybody's saying this woke is the new tag word. What the hell do they mean by woke? Please. We don't deserve to be. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Hey, Gypsy Prepper, how's it going, sweetheart? Right? Like, you know, when you live in a country where people are in power, political power, that didn't get put there by us, there's a problem in the system, and the system is broke. Because I know the last election that got called, Trudeau only got 32% of the vote, but he's got 60 some percent of the votes because the NDP started to kiss his butt, kiss the liberals' butt. Well, you do this for me, I'll do this for you. And this you know, unkind of declared backdoor dealing is why our country is in such dire straits. 911. Oh, oh, oh. I Well, you know what? We've been talking about awakening and spiritual awakenings for well over a year now. And it's popular. Just don't, just know the truth for as you see it, right? I don't even know what it is. He didn't decide to split. Harry was forced to because he married a divorcee. And so did Charles. So William should be king, and he has youth, and Charles only has 23 more years to go. Why does he only have 23 more years to go? Is like he on a clock or something, or is Satan going to come and take him in 23 years? Is that the deal he made with the devil? I'm sorry. I really have no love for the elites anymore. I really don't. I used to think the Queen and the royal family, hell, I'm 18th generation granddaughter of Henry the fucking eighth on the bastard side of the blanket because he screwed everything, including rock piles, if he thought a snake was in him. But you don't see me putting on airs and claiming the throne or any connection to it. Why? Because I'm Canadian. I'm not British. Hey, Tokazoex. Yeah, the queen is dead. It's time for the monarchy to dissipate. Disperse. Go live. Get your pension like government prime ministers do, and learn to live on a budget for the rest of your life. Just stepped away from the sewing machines, making quilts to sell for Christmas. Oh, that's awesome, Gypsy. Hey, Rumble Bunny. I don't have time to make quilts to sell for Christmas. I'm a one-legged man in an ass kicking contest in harvest season right now. So we'll see. But I can see the other side. The freezers are clean, and the flour is stocked, and I'm seeing the other side of the mountain with canning potatoes. So, Julia Skuga, how's it going, sweetheart? isn't the Queen and all them actually German, or they were German? No, they're in. Queen Victoria married her second cousin or something like that, and he was raised in Germany. Yes, he was German, but I'm not sure how the lineage goes because I'm pretty sure Elizabeth's maiden name was Mountbatten, and I'm not sure how it goes from there. Like, I'm not sure. Like, there was Queen Victoria, and then there was George, I think, or did George come before the Queen Victoria? No, because George was Elizabeth's dad. So it's all that stuff. The X's are kisses. Well, that's very nice. And besides, there's only 2 on each end, not 3. I figured that one out. You worked on freezers yesterday. I don't know. I mean, does it really matter? Honestly, think about this. Think about this. The world, if you look at it from space, doesn't have any lines drawn on it. Borders and lines and districts and municipalities and countries and continents are all divided up by man for gain. Period. Full stop. I didn't see God drawing any lines on this. We're all people. We're all of the human race. So it really doesn't matter. You know, you start putting borders between countries and people and things like that, then you've got reason for resentments. And the elites have been stirring the pot, the shit pot, for well over 100 years. And I think those that stir the shit pot should be made to lick the spoon. It's called the Pentaveret. The Rothschilds, the Gettys, the Queen, the Vatican, and Colonel Sanders before he went tits up. You never know when I'm serious or not, right? But I gotta say, you look at movies. Now think about this. You look at movies like Soylent Green. It's the people! What was my favorite line in that movie? Charlton Heston. I loved him for a long time. What was his line? Oh, land's too precious for private ownership. It's for the people. And in the end, it's the people they're eating, and all the land is owned by the elites. I actually saw, yeah, Freaky Geek, exactly. Hey, Camby. I don't know, K-A-M-B. I'm just going to call you Camby. So, thank you, Sandy. Soylent Green is people. Elizabeth is a Windsor. Albert was Mountbatten from Greece and Germany. Okay. I'm pretty sure her dad was Mountbatten. Really? Anyway, I do love following the royal family. I really do. Right back from, Jane Eyre. Not Jane Eyre. Yeah, Jane Eyre. And the Boleyn sisters, and it's just, I just find that history fascinating. But that's because it's fascinating history, right? But you look at movies, okay? When he did Marathon Man, Charlton Heston did Marathon Man. Will later did a remake called I Am Legend. And in the very opening of the movie, they show news clips of a doctor, I think it was played by Emma Thompson, being interviewed on TV saying that they cured cancer through genetic modification. And then 10, 12 years later, they're doing it on children with reoccurring cancer and kids with sickle cell anemia. And everybody and I was like, "Are you kidding me, people? Is nobody seeing this?" They would take out, you know, some of their blood, and they would genetically modify certain cells in their bloodline and put it and program those cells to attack the cancer. Doesn't always work. And when I said, "Are you people kidding me?" and people were like, "Why? Do you want to see those children die?" I said, "No, but you're being sold genetic modification by them using it on children." Nobody, I have rant videos from 10 years ago, you know. So, hey Angela, my mom raised 10 children, probably no money for copper bottom roasters. Yeah, I bet. So, if you look, you know, you ever watch Supernatural? If you know your stuff, there's just enough truth in there, okay? Like any good story or lie always starts with a nugget of truth. And then everything from there on out becomes plausible because of one nugget of truth. So, you ever watch Supernatural? There is just enough truth in Supernatural, but a whole bunch of BS so that people are watching it thinking it's all BS. But I'm telling you, all these movies about secret societies and sacrificing of people and all this stuff, this shit really happens. You don't think they just come up with these ideas, do you? Right? Oh yeah, we're in season 8 right now, rewatching Supernatural. But I mean, you even watch the Marvel comics, okay? You watch like the comic books movies. They were telling the truth about X-Men and all of these things. Not necessarily people with blades that come out of their hands. And Hugh Jackman and I have broken up. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But I mean, that people have, you know, there are people out there with special abilities, you know. I know, but the thing is I watch it now, and like at first Howie thought I was absolutely batshit crazy, right? But when he started watching little clips of things I was sending and listening to some other people. Oh, there's mine. Remind me what I was saying. I have to go stir my ketchup. Oh, Another hour and it'll be ready to bottle. How he started listening to, because he's always thought I was a little bit off center until the stuff I was talking about 10 years has been happening. And so I have a really hard time watching the news. So recently I've gotten better at watching the news. And Howie doesn't like watching the news with me, because there was this on the Montreal CTV News or whatever, CTV News Montreal. It was the lady interviewing this doctor, and he was talking about, I forget what it was. It was something trivial, not trivial, but they're talking about back to school and blah 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 blah. And he was, whatever it was he was talking about, he was animated. He was bang on, bang on, bang on, bang on. And then when she started asking him about the safety of vaccines and all this stuff, or whatever it was, the topic came up on vaccines and COVID. And he started to stumble over his words. I said, do you see what's happening there? And how he said, yeah, he's lying through his teeth. Not just because we know he's lying, but his whole body language and verbal communication manner changed. So it's all there in plain sight, right? You listen to Justinflation Trudeau, and hear him talk about COVID's not done with us yet, and blah, 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 blah. And we need to be ready. And it's like, please, and I just looked at Howie and he said, yeah, I'm changing the channel. Because I have never had such a visceral reaction to a politician, except maybe Brian Mulroney. I really never liked him. But this is the worst visceral reaction of anger and betrayal I've ever felt in politics. And if I see his picture, I get ugly. If I hear his voice, I get ugly. But if I see him talking on video, I feel sick with anger. And I have to work through that, right? I've started believing about this, reduce the population by any means. Yeah, well, Hugh Jackman. Let's talk about a man that I just loved for a long time, Hugh Jackman. Actually saw a video of him today promoting it's not a commercial. He was just so excited about this book that Bill Gates wrote on the environment. And he said, we're so lucky to have such a brilliant man, such an educated man, lay it all out for us on how we can fix the problem, the environment. And I just went, sorry, Hugh. I'm breaking up with you, man. With this, I try to listen to see what they're yelling about. The truth is the veil, remember me telling you like a year and a half, 2 years ago, that the veil was lifting 3 years ago, right? And people were starting to see people for who they really were. And it became a lot, big shocks to a lot of people going, I just had no idea this person was such a twat waffle, And I had no idea this person was this nasty, this mean, because we are now seeing people, places, and things for exactly what they are. And the glamour that they throw on it, literally glamour, if anybody knows exactly what I'm talking about when I say glamour, the glamour they throw up is not holding up anymore. And we're seeing their dialogue, but in between the lines, it's jumping out, lie, That doesn't make any sense. What science? La, 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 la. And it's been very glaring. And then last year, the veil went bang. I mean, Klaus Schwab writes books about this stuff, how they plan to take over the world. And we will own nothing and be happy. If you want, you go get his books or read them or get them from the library, because that man ain't joking. And people have been fluffing him off for way too long. Hell, just inflation Trudeau's one of his prize pets that he's had infiltrate the government. He's got them all over the World Economic Forum. Do you believe that the devil is already here on earth? Do you think he is in human form? Well, for starters, I'd have to believe in the devil. And although I do, to a certain degree, I don't believe the devil is any more than just pure evil. And evil is everywhere. I mean, pure evil and pure love. That's all there is, right? Pure fear and love. Pure evil, pure good. It's that simple. It's really that simple. And I don't want to talk about my opinions on the Bible, because I've read the book more than once, except for Revelations, because I wasn't going to read that ending. And we have been manipulated from the dawn of time. And it's only getting worse. We are now at, the eruption point of what they've been planning for so long. Why do you think so many people fight and war over religions? Why? Because we've been manipulated into believing that pure good and pure love will judge us. God loves you exactly the way you are, but if you don't do as you're told, you're going to get a fucking spanking. No, that's not my God. Princess Bobby Bear, who do not have the seal of God, your name must be written in the book of life. I know exactly where my name is written. And I will not be manipulated by words written by man. Sorry, I won't go there. I won't be manipulated by that. Doesn't mean that there's a lot of wonderful things in the Bible to learn from and to take heart from and to take hope from. But it's still a book interpreted and written by man, and only God is perfect and man is fallible. And the moment humankind, any human being, tries to take their ideas and share them with somebody else, nobody is ever going to get your idea the way you get it. Why? Because it's yours. Your relationship with the God of your understanding is your relationship. You can't cookie cut out certain rules, and then somebody doesn't like the rules, they go build another church and they say this is the way it was, and it starts conflict. We would all be so much closer if we took the connection to our faith, or the God of our understanding, and dropped all of the trappings that man has enclosed religion into boxes. Think about it. Think about how many different churches, how many Christian churches, how many different orthodoxies of Judaism and Muslim and all of these things. Everybody's got a different idea. But isn't it better to have a really good idea than to listen to somebody else's that might be wrong? Because they're human and they make mistakes. We're not supposed to judge. We're not supposed to, we don't condone anything, but we don't judge it either. It's not my place. It's nobody's place. Right? Not even God's going to judge. We judge ourselves. Do you know how we judge ourselves? Do you know how God's going to judge us? He's not. We are going to decide whether or not we knock on that door and have that taught at the foot of God's throne. We decide, not him. Why? Because he has no interference with us. He's only there if we ask him to be. There is only one God, and God is to be praised. God is love. God is all good all the time. And I only use the word God for any other lack of, God, creator, one source of all. And then, when they say, it's not black and white. No, you're not. And you're right. It's been gray for a very long time, but the black and white is starting to show itself. And the gray area is getting smaller, right? And if it's not, God is good all the time. God is good always, all the time. God is love. Then everything else that casts any kind of negativity, that God will judge you or God will throw you in a pit of fire or God, he won't do that. He's just sitting there waiting for his children to knock on the door and come home. But he ain't going to call us. We have to go to him. He's already done all he needs to do. The door's always there, right? By the way we live our lives, people have to make that choice. That's right. Hey, Glory. Well, you don't have to believe. Absolutely, Linda. Absolutely. I will bow at God's feet, and I will thank him for leading the light of my path he set before me in this life. We all chose to be here. We all chose to be here in this time. And there's always going to be people who don't see it, don't see what's going on. We call those people volunteers, because not everybody, there's got to be balance. Not everybody is going to be able to ascend. You know what I mean? I was excommunicated from a Pentecostal church because I left an adulterous husband. He was allowed to stay in the church. I got a letter. He did not, so I was done. See, the thing is, okay, where's the justice in that? Where is the justice in that, Natalie? There is none, right? You can't tell me that, God doesn't love us. That's all he is love. Love and light. All-encompassing love and light. So anybody who gets kicked out of a church for whatever reason, whatever happens, no matter what shit you do in life, as long as you own up to your mistakes or own up to your transgressions and you accept, you own your shit, then you will never have a problem going up and knocking on that door, because eventually you figure it out. Wow, I'm alive because of I'm alive by God's grace that he hasn't called me home yet. And even when we die, we choose where we go. Right? No, exactly, Linda. So I I don't go by I find like I find a lot of churches, especially like the Catholic Church, is full of a lot of superstition and idolatry. Even putting a cross up on the wall is idolatry. You see me? You feel me? And I understand that there are people, many, many, many people, who go to church to feel a part of a community, to feel closer to God, to get something. Because I tell you what, even now, if I went to church, and I might go to church again, I might go to eat midnight mass on Christmas Eve just for the heck of it. Especially if I'm in Peterborough, I'll go to St. Peter's. But to me, it's just I've never gone to church where I didn't come out feeling like I had gotten an answer to something, feeling like feeling a little more at peace. That's what I would get. But did I make that church my God? Absolutely not. Do I make that book my God? Absolutely not. God is, yes, I have some nasty bruises. I still don't know where I got them. God, is right there. He's right here. And every time I make a mistake and I ask forgiveness, I know I'm forgiven. Don't he? We're always forgiven, as long as we understand that we take responsibility for our actions. We own them. So I understand why a lot of people go to church. It can be very comforting, very community oriented, and all of those things. And I miss the community sometimes, but I don't. It's like watching the news. I have a really hard time sometimes listening to people preach the gospel as it was taught to them, without wanting to say, you know what? Where'd you get your info? You know what I mean? You don't know the truth if you only learned what you know from non-Catholic sources. I'm not sure I understand that. Prepping for heaven, you don't know the truth if you've only learned what you know from non-Catholic sources. I was raised in a very superstitious Catholic home. My mother was very religiously superstitious. And I became a confirmed Catholic at the age of 26. And I had to go through all the catechism with a sponsor and all of those things before I took my first communion and got confirmed. So don't think I don't know, right? I mean, that's as close as I came to ever becoming a full-fledged member of any church. And you know why? Because it was so pagan. Candles and incense and statues, and it was really cool. But it doesn't matter. I always get something out of any kind of religious speak. But see, that's the point. We take what we need from the inspired word of God, and we leave the rest for somebody else to figure out on their own. You know what I mean? I was raised Catholic. I hated it. My first husband's father was a Baptist minister. I have not gone to church in years. I believe God churches everywhere. God's church is in God's home is in our heart, our soul. We are pieces of God. I don't think people really understand that. And this is one of the reasons they put so many rules in religion. You know why? Because if the world actually came to its senses to how powerful we are as individual beings, as fractions of God or refractions of God. Think of God as let's picture God as a ball of light, and it shot through a crystal, and all of the different refractions are like us, right? We are not just God's children. We are of God. So, hey, Joe Mama. So, anything said, like, to me, is God going to cut off if God was a man, would he cut off his foot because his toe displeased him? No. You fix the toe. Or you learn to live with it and you accept. We are all a part of God. Throwing any of us in a pit of fiery cinders to burn forever is like would be like sticking his own finger in the fire. Why would he do that? We are we come from God. So anything telling us that God is gonna, give us a spanking if we don't do as we're told, that's man talking. That's not God. God says, you are here. Let's see what you do with it. And when you're ready to come home, I'll be waiting. We have God's DNA. Everyone and everything is connected to God. Absolutely. Absolutely. Did you get my letter, Joe? Did you get my email? You have not been taught the truth. You call incense and candles superstition, but you burn sage to cleanse your area. No, you misunderstand me, prepping for heaven. It's one of the things I loved about the Catholic Church. And when people get mouthy with me about burning sage, then I go right back and say, have you ever been into a Catholic church? That's what incense is, right? Is raising up prayers on fragrant smoke so that God can hear. So I'm just saying the way my family treated the Catholic Church, it was all a bunch of superstitious stuff, right? Don't put brand new shoes on the table. Someone's going to die, right? Don't wash the ashes off your forehead, or don't do this, or don't do that. If you're not baptized, you're never going to make it to heaven. Yeah. Superstition. Every religion has it. Every religion has it. I mean, some woman telling me that because I've said some of the things I do, I'm going to hell and burning forever, and that I am, not a child of God, not all that stuff. Well, that's just her opinion, isn't it? Everybody got opinion, just like a butthole, and most of them stink to other people anyway. So, that's wonderful, freaky. That's wonderful, freaky. I'm just saying, some people need the structure of religion. I'm not knocking religion. I'm just knocking religion for me. Some people need the structure of an organized religion so that they can feel they've got a plan of action. They feel protected. It's essential for them to feel safe, right? Religion is not essential for me to feel safe in God's love. I know I'm loved. And I talk to God every single day, and He answers me. And I have talked to Christ, met the man. Okay? I'm just saying, if you get comfort within your community and your church and your religion, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. But your religion is not a one size fits all. And that's what they've tried to make it. One size fits all. What it really should be is one-on-one communication with the God of your understanding on a daily basis. Oh, you asked for a card? All right. Linda Bopp has asked for a card. Let's see. Now, folks, don't get all hot-tempered and think that I'm a heretic or anything like that. Please don't judge. I share myself with you in hopes that you will understand that we are all individuals and we all have our own paths back to God in one form or another. Right? Yeah, this one isn't working for me. Wow, this one feels better. Linda Bopp wants a card. You know what? Let's do this. I'm going to have to go soon because I got to bottle up ketchup before I go to bed. And I'm going shopping tomorrow, so you'll be seeing a shopping video on our half-acre homestead probably on Saturday. Smoke of the sacred white sage. Cleanse us of negativity. Help us with our clarity and raise our prayers and our hopes and our love on your smoke up to the Creator. Yeah. And honestly, Linda, I don't think God judges either. Judgment implies wrongdoing. And wrongdoing implies, and judgment also implies punishment. And God is not a punishing God. Hello, Buggy. What are you? God's not the one that creates all these horrific things that go on in the world. You honestly think that if God is love, just saying, okay? If God is love, then all the horrible things that happen are not of God. They are of people's choices and people who listen to the wrong whispers. 9 times out of 10, the ones that they say make sense. Right? Okay, you are getting annoying, so you're going to have to go, little moth. Sorry, man. Oh, you lived. Maybe you should live. So I never understood was before Christianity, where they all godless heathens. I'm pretty sure the Vikings had druids. I mean, the child being born of God to a virgin who is crucified, died, buried, and rise again. This is not the first time that's happened in history. Okay, there's a lot older religions than Christianity that have the same thing, right? And so it isn't what you believe, it's how you do what you do with your belief, with your ideas, right? Vikings had Valhalla to sit at the table with Odin. But I mean, even Odin, if you look, there's very similarities to Christianity in all religions. All religions start off with a high moral compass and to be a peaceful religion. but they never end up that way. Why? Because we're people, right? Trying to make sense of all the things going on in the world. It's easier to blame than it is to say, wow, honestly, this weather that's gone through here, God must be really angry. No, God didn't get angry. How can love get angry? Love can be hurt. Love can be disillusioned. We can be hurt. We can be disillusioned by love. But God's love is pure. And there is no judge, jury, or executioner. We do that all ourselves and to each other. No, it's okay, sweetheart. Prepping, I appreciate your messages. I sure didn't expect to attend a live show where some participants criticize the Catholic Church. I'm not criticizing the Catholic Church. I just said everybody who has a religion or a faith or has some kind of religious structure in their life, if that gives them comfort, then the purpose is real. If they feel safe and protected, then the purpose is real. But not everybody believes the same. I'm not criticizing any church. I'm just saying it's not for everybody. It's not, religions are trying kind of like one size fits all t-shirts that don't fit everybody. Can you dehydrate canned from tin can tomatoes for tomato powder? I wouldn't do it. Even if they're really freshly canned. I would do it if you were home canned tomatoes in jars. But tomato, I tried it once and it was okay when I mixed it with garden tomatoes, mostly garden tomatoes. But when I tried it with canned tomatoes, it came out tasting like powdered tin. It was really nasty. No, you can taste it because of the acidity in the tomato. Hey, Ninja, love is the only answer. Exactly, right? I mean, I had this big talk with somebody who felt it was their right to judge me. If I see wrongdoing, then I'm going to judge, and that's not your job, man. It's on me to judge myself. And if I decide not to judge myself, not to own up to my shit, then my life's only going to get worse. My choices are only going to degrade more and more. So it's not God who judges us, it's us. And if we choose not to judge ourselves and go along our merry way, cheating and lying and judging people, then that's a fast track away from the door to God. Right? But if you still go, he'll still let you in, but you're not even going to head for that door if your mind is all boggled up on getting ahead by, making justifications for bad choices and behaviors. Absolutely. Linda, the cards are not. I'll try one more deck. The cards are not talking for you, Linda. Linda Bob. No. That was... Try that again. Sorry. My hands aren't working very well. Linda Bob wants a card. Hey, Lady J. My understanding, if you are in the church, then you can judge them. If you are in the church, then you can judge them. If you're not in the church, you cannot judge. You cannot judge anybody except yourself. You know? You can. The only thing you're allowed to judge is your own behavior, your own decisions, your own choices. I had to take a couple of Benadryl because I broke out in a bit of a rash. I had to give Gracie a bath today, and one more time, Linda Bob. Nope, sorry, they're not talking tonight. Hey, sweetie. So anyway, it's been over an hour, and it's time for me to go and bottle up my ketchup, boil bath it, and go to bed. All right, folks. We're going to close with a prayer, ironically. And this is where you do you. You connect with your faith. I will connect with mine. Anything I say in my prayer doesn't ring with you, then just toss that out. Take what you want and leave the rest. But this is where we knock down walls of religion that man has slammed between us so that we argue. There's no need to argue. Everybody has their own path in their own way, even if it's a path away from God. It's all about choices, right? So join me now. If you don't want to stay, there is no judgment. It's not everybody's bag, right? But for all those who care to, you reach out to your faith, I'll reach out to mine, and we will join hearts and hands across the world. And we will raise up our voices in love and light and keep parting the darkness with God's light and love. Okay? All I ask is that folks don't shoot the messenger. I'm just trying to tell people what I believe to help them. I'm sorry if I'm not good at explaining things in such short comments. Nobody's shooting the messenger. Why would anybody shoot the messenger? I'm just saying that when you said, I'm not running down anything. I'm not, the thing is unsolicited advice. Now think very carefully about this before we close with a prayer. Unsolicited advice is criticism in disguise. So, okay, Natalie. All right, sweetheart. Hey, Willows, yes. Prickly pear jelly. All right. Shall we do some? 7777. 7777. There were 77 people and there were 77 thumbs up. We're in luck. Spirit is with us. So let's take some deep breaths. Okay. Inhale positivity. Exhale negativity. Inhale light. Exhale darkness. Inhale love. Exhale fear. Hey God, creator and one source of all. How's it going? Sometimes I don't know what to say, God. I just go with my heart. And I don't want to divide people. I just want people to know that you are there and you are love and you are light. So I ask you, God, please help us. I ask you, God, to bless the people that we lift up to you through the darkness and the fog, so that they may see the smile and love upon your face. Those that are having a hard time with health, family, rejection, addiction, neglect, illness, financial struggles, fear. God, We lift them up to you so that you can smile down upon them, and maybe for a moment, if not longer, they feel a moment of peace. And in that moment, they will have some clarity. We ask you, God, to fill us full of the light of your divine love so that we glow as we move forward every day. That the light that shines from you through us divides the darkness as we go forward on the lighted path to your love. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for not giving up on me. We know you are all good all the time, and that you are love and light. So please, God, help us to go forward in that love and light. Amen. Namaste. Shalom. Peace be with you. Merry meet, merry part. Blessed be. Miigwech. Peace be with you. Walk in the light of God's love. Whatever your language is that you use to talk to the God of your understanding, let it always be love, because that's all there is. Love is all that we need. With love comes patience, tolerance, acceptance, forgiveness, sharing, caring. All of these things come from love. No judgment. Right? Take care. God bless. And I'll see you guys on Sunday afternoon. Mwah! Love you guys. Always.